It is October 19th, 2012, episode 114 of Rope Silicon Podcast, Brad Laremy on movies. I'm Brad, RopeSilicon.com, here with Laremy from Film.com. What up, Laremy?
I went to that Purple last night, Brad. You ever been there?
That's the one in Bellevue?
No, I believe it's in Belltown.
I think there was one in Bellevue, too. Maybe I'm wrong.
There could be. It might have more than one. I don't know.
Okay, and?
It seemed like a place you would like. It's very hip, very with it.
Well, Chitara loves it.
Oh, see, there we go. I knew there was some connection there.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Yes, she does. I think it might actually be her favorite restaurant.
I think it's very well designed. I like the big glass windows. Food, I could take or leave, but, they seem like really nice people. They were very friendly to me.
Did you Yelp review it?
I would not do that. Nope.
Were you there by yourself?
No, I went with people. But the Yelp review thing, just seems like a lot of effort to help somebody.
The Yelp review thing, you have to be mad.
Like I read Yelp reviews, but writing them seems like too far. Too far.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
And you're just one little review.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how people, when you first started writing for me and you were like, yeah, I'll do everything. Because I thought about that, writing Alex Cross, because I mentioned my experience with Stealth. And how, because after Stealth, I think you almost came in almost immediately.
Alex Cross.
In 2005, and I was hating life. Because it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. It's like, am I going to actually continue this business with all these terrible movies? And you wrote for free for me, and you wrote a lot of reviews, and I could just never imagine doing that.
I like to write, but I feel like at least with movies, your opinion, you're getting it out there, people are reading it, they're having their opinion. With restaurants, it's way too local. You know what I mean? It's just I review Purple, and then 8 people read that review, and then we move on with their lives. Whereas I review Mamma Mia, you know what I'm saying? A couple thousand people maybe read it. Say
but also, when you started writing for me, I don't believe I had a comment section.
Is that true?
I believe so.
You might be right. I don't know. I don't remember. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, because comments didn't become very big on my site until I actually got WordPress installed, because I had this weird thing tied into a vBulletin forum that was all wonk.
It sounds wonk.
And so
I would get comments. I would get comments on Oracle.
I'm trying to remember. I wonder when I got that. But it wasn't anywhere near what it is today.
No, today it's mayhem.
Yeah.
Did you see, speaking of comments, got a little new iTunes review?
From who? Because I did email back and forth with one of our listeners that said he's going to be putting in a review and has been meaning to.
Well, this is from the M Reporter.
Okay, so actually the guy I was talking to, Disco Paco, has not posted his yet.
Unless he's got a different name on iTunes, which is certainly possible. No one can keep track their logins. This 5-star, first off. That's where you want to be.
Of course.
That's the correct rating.
Come on.
That's the correct rating.
Yeah.
This is perhaps the most interactive podcast I've heard. Not only is it a great movie dialogue between two friends, that's a stretch. It's a great movie dialogue between them and their listeners. They respond to listener and reader questions and comments more frequently than any podcast I've ever heard. And the podcast feels more personal and welcoming, because of which both are funny and smart, again a stretch, and hope to continue to hear more from them. I always eagerly await their next show. Isn't that nice?
That's what I like to see.
Yeah, 5 stars for me. And I think at least 2 or 3 for you.
Gotta be.
Yeah.
Well, if it's 2 or 3 for me, that leaves only 2 or 3 for you. If you're talking,
where's our 6-star review?
If somebody figures that out,
they win.
We might actually get to the front page of iTunes, finally.
iTunes would be like, you broke iTunes.
Congratulations.
Here's your 6-star review.
Did you look through all the comments? Because the comment section was dominated by your search for the identity of a certain girl, and I saw you basically stopped replying to people about halfway through.
Well, because I didn't want to bias the selection. You know what I mean? To keep trying to give clues that would make people forget of who it actually is. But I did plug in every name people sent, and it's none of those people. So I think we're going to give up the search on this one.
Is it possible that you actually did see a porn star, and there's a lot more of you being revealed than...
No, there's no chance I saw a porn star. And also, I think it was Snicket who said, I might have just seen a normal person and made them feel weird. That is possible. But
yeah, and they just said, yes, I'm an actress to get you away from them?
It's...
Because I could see that as well. Because we had that conversation about how
It's
you weird people out. We had that
yeah,
on the way to Alex Cross,
yeah.
and how I've never gotten the reactions I get unless I'm with you.
That was a little different though. You were saying I don't weird people out, but people like step to me more often. So
Yeah, that's right.
we went to Alex Cross, and the publicist I'd never seen before goes, "Are you press?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "What's your name?" I go, "Laremy." He goes, "Spell it." So I spelled it. And he goes, "What's your last name?" And I spelled that. And he goes, "Who you work for?" And I spell all that. And I look at him. And now we're like 8 minutes into this conversation of me validating my right to exist. And then I look at him. I go, "Oh, who are you?" Because I know where to show up. I'm here. I'm here to see the movie. You have a clipboard. I've never met you before in my life. So he told me his name, and then I don't want to say the real publicist came back, but the publicist I know came back, and all was well.
I
But
don't want to say the real. By saying that, you say that.
well, I mean, he's just starting out. Clearly, if I've never seen him before,
Yeah, I was thinking about that. The evolution of the publicist. I don't know if you've noticed how, like, certain publicists that we used to see all the time, we don't see anymore.
it is weird.
We hardly hear from them, and
Yeah,
but the ones that we have gotten to know a little bit over the years, who were just lowly old assistants at one point, are now at every screening and actually talk a little bit more. It's just it's fascinating.
but we still don't get the invites we're looking for.
Well, those invites weren't sent to anyone.
Well, they should be sent to us.
Well, that's
We're
just
not,
you big leaguing it.
but big. I got a big head, people. But you were saying that no one bothers you when I'm not with you, and I find that hard to believe.
I get bothered by people just in general, but
Just
I
living your
never
life.
get this. I never have the situations like you have.
Do I look shifty?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to put some study to this.
One thing I mentioned in the last podcast is I wondered if Brandon Routh was in a television show because I thought I had seen him on TV. Turns out somebody answers Brandon Routh is on Partners on CBS Monday night. After How I Met Your Mother, he is the boyfriend of the gay lead character, and that must have been it because I just saw it briefly a couple days ago, and there he was.
So he is the boyfriend to the boy.
Of the gay lead character, and which is a good, I guess gay lead character, boyfriend. I guess you do have to specify that if you don't know what the show is. But I don't know who that is.
Speaking of,
Do you know who the lead character in Partners is?
come on,
You watch that show.
it's probably the redhead that I'm looking for. Got my
No.
ballot in the mail, Brad.
So did I.
You excited? You want to fill that together?
No.
I mean, I don't like to get too political, but I'm hoping that Prop 74 passes.
Is that the what's it called?
That's the
Give it to me. Who is it?
the gay marriage.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have some gay friends who'd
David
like to get married.
Krumholtz.
What
I
about
believe
David?
that's the. Actually, I don't think that is the lead character. Because now that I think about it, I think I saw.
What? It's on it. What? CBS?
Yeah.
Partners?
Because David Krumholtz is gay on that as well, and I noticed that.
I don't think
just
that's a real
recently.
show.
No, I saw it just recently, and I was like, this is
People-
interesting. This is sort of cool.
People are pulling our leg.
No, they're.
Okay, but in all seriousness, Brandon Routh, wasn't he Justin Long's boyfriend or something? Remember in a movie? Like, Zach, wasn't it a Kevin Smith movie? Do you remember this?
May have been.
Do I sound crazy? I'm going to look it
Wow.
up. Yeah.
You look it up.
I'm gonna look it up while
You
you
look it up.
you keep talking.
Okay, I have, let's see, some other notes. Do. Oh, I have Marlon Wallace wanted to challenge you for being an idiot.
What? Oh, Zach and Mary make a porno. Bobby Long. Remember? He was in the like bar scene or whatever, or the yeah.
Sure.
You forgot that.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Well, what? I saw that movie once. Come on.
Hey.
Come on.
All right, what's Marlon Wallace got? Bring it.
Okay, now I did prep you for this one a little bit before the podcast because I know it's not meant to be mean. So
It just
normally
happened.
when people say no offense, it does intend to be mean. Though it's like no offense, but you're an asshole. Well, thanks. It is a little bit offensive, but this isn't in that vein. No offense to Laremy, but with his recent comments about horror and stop motion and not bothering to see Moonrise Kingdom for so long, he seems like a guy that is perhaps not as passionate about movies as he was when he and Brad first met. Would you say that's true?
Besmirched.
Would you say that's true?
No.
Would you say you're more passionate?
Yes.
Would you?
You know what I'm less passionate about? People. Actual movies I kind of still love. I've never liked horror the entire time we've been doing anything. And
Yeah, the horror and stop motion thing. But I will admit, personally,
I've been very
being
upfront about this.
surprised that you didn't make a effort to see Moonrise Kingdom.
I did a bunch of times.
That was the one thing that did sort of surprise me.
I looked at the time, I knew when it was playing, I was gonna go see it, and just I'm gonna watch the screener when it gets to me. I promise. I love Wes Anderson. Just didn't happen this time.
So,
Doesn't make me a bad person.
well, I don't think he's implying that you're a bad person. I think that's a stretch.
He just called me an asshole.
That was me.
Oh.
But I said no offense.
Oh, okay. Well, then no offense taken.
No,
No,
because you do tend to get upset because you got mad that Vince didn't like Seven Psychopaths
well, that
and called you out in the opening paragraph.
now that truly is upsetting because it's like
Is it because he called you out in the opening paragraph?
no, I don't care about that. It's because I like the movie and then other people don't, and then somehow I'm supposed to convince them of why they're wrong, and it's just never going to happen. Like that process does sort of bore me. Like if you hate the movie and I love the movie, that's fine. High five. It's okay.
Yeah,
But
Seven Psychopaths also is one where everyone agrees on what the movie's about. I mean, most everyone even finds it funny. And there's just that whether you accept the premise and go with it and find it to be a good premise or not. And so there's really no like you tried to explain it at Alex Cross, and I just sort of laughed because I knew your response.
you could have given it.
Oh, of course. It's just like when the question was asked, I was like, there's just no answer that can satisfy this conversation.
Well, let me ask you because maybe you feel the same way, maybe you don't. Are you over trying to persuade people? Because I think that is the key question that Marlon didn't quite ask, but I think is relevant. I feel like people don't change their minds on things, and I don't know if it's politics it's got me down, or if it's, but it's like what? I want to write about this film. I want to write what it meant to me. But if you don't agree, I'm totally okay with that.
Well, I will say you did say a couple of interesting things. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head in trying to explain because I sort of zoned out when you try to explain your reasoning because I knew it of liking Seven Psychopaths. Some things that you actually hadn't said on the podcast that made it a little bit more interesting.
So I should keep trying to persuade people. You're saying?
Well, the problem is when people aren't necessarily, and this is where sometimes I have a problem trying to explain, figuring out when to do it. Because sometimes there's reason to explain yourself because somebody's not exactly getting what you're saying, or their argument is conflicting with what you are saying and got out of it. Like one of the reasons people didn't like Paranormal Activity 3, and I saw this again on Netflix yesterday. I was looking at the user reviews over there. And it said something like, this movie would have been better if it had all the things that were in the trailer. Because you remember that conversation, how the trailer was cut differently than the end movie ended up being with Paranormal Activity 3?
Yeah, not a totally foreign thing. That happens more than we like.
You see something like that, though, and that is, and I don't know if the people realize this, but that is a 1,000% stupid statement. You cannot say something would be better if it was not what it was, because you don't know what it would end up being in that situation.
I kind of feel like we do that a lot, though. Like we say, if Trouble with the Curve wouldn't have had so many anti-computer things, it would have been good.
I don't think we said it would have been good.
It would have been better.
I don't even know if it would. It wouldn't. It's not even. I don't think we necessarily say that as much as we just say, "My God, I've seen this before 1,000 times." Because all you have with Trouble with the Curve that you can say is start over with the premise of an old guy retiring or having a hard time keeping his job as a recruiter.
Do
That's
your
the only interesting part of that movie, and it's over before it begins.
do your Clint Eastwood impression.
So
Do it.
it'll come out of nowhere.
It was
I'll
so
do it
good. Before the show started, Brad did a dead-on Clint Eastwood impression to the point where I actually stopped. I was taken aback.
because I was feeling it.
It was really good.
I was
guess
feeling get off my lawn.
the one the one thing I would say is that Just don't watch trailers. That's point A. Point B is it's an expectations thing again. Regardless of the trailer, you're like, I would like the movie to be this way because they were selling it this way. Well, okay, but them selling it to you was always inauthentic. That was always a fake thing. They were always trying to sell you a bill of goods, you know?
Well, for the new Paranormal Activity 4, there's a scare scene that's in the trailer, and it's perceived one way, whereas actually it's a false scare in the movie. And
So
so, but the difference with Paranormal Activity 4, everything that I've seen in the trailers, because I did watch, I think two or three of them while writing my review, is in the movie.
I love that you went out and saw Paranormal Activity 4 last night.
Why?
Because that's just a baller move.
It was a normal 7 o'clock screening,
I was living my life. You were watching PA4.
and
Most,
and I got home and watched the end of the Seahawks game, and
ooh,
that clearly wasn't worth watching.
that was the real horror show.
That was terrible.
Yeah, that was scary.
I didn't need to watch that. So
So, are you gonna? Is it time for reviews? I don't even know. Are we too early?
no, I have one more. Let me see if I wanted to ask. I'll move that one. We don't need to do that one. Did you end up going and seeing the sessions?
Not yet. Next
Uh,
week.
let's
Yeah.
now. I want to ask you a question.
Oh Jesus.
Is it? Would you say that you're perhaps not as passionate about movies now
Yes, for sure.
as you were when we first met?
Definitely.
Okay, okay.
I'm
That's what.
I'm more passionate about movies now. I just don't necessarily feel the need to always share that passion because people are mean.
People would argue though that's your job.
It is not my job. It's not
Oh,
my.
it's your job.
People don't know even what my job is. My job's to hang out.
You don't even know your job.
Jab. You get a
Get it.
job.
You get a job.
No, I've seen
I want to
sessions.
give people jabs. That's my Mitt Romney impression.
That's pretty good, actually.
Well, he
People-
says jabs.
like Rocky.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
get jabs. Like I don't want to take away jabs. I want to give people jabs. 12 million jabs. They're out there. I'm going to make them.
Wow, it got really political there.
It's
J- Jibs. I think whoever gets elected, I think we can both agree, or we can all agree, regardless of your political persuasion, is the first thing they should do is pull that big giant jobs lever that's in the Oval
Well, did you
Office.
see Daily Show?
No.
They did a roundup. It was Daily Show or Colbert. He did a roundup everything Mitt Romney's going to do on day one.
He's got to crush it.
And it was like get inaugurated, have a sandwich, get everybody in America a job. And then it said open up a label maker,
Then it's news.
label China something or other. It was just
Oh,
it
yeah.
was funny.
They're going to be labeled a currency manipulator.
Well, I've always hated that day one idea because once one person says they're going to do something on day one, the other, and this happened more in the last election because both were new. They were both going to be new president. They weren't, one was an incumbent. And so they were both going to do everything on day one.
And day one's got to be exhausting.
Day one, you're not going to do anything. You're not doing anything till like day 30.
Do you remember your first day at a job? You were like trying to find like the pencil sharpener.
Well, the first day I was at most
this is
jobs,
the
I just
1800s.
reformatted everything.
Yeah,
It was all start over.
yeah, and you like get your name tag. You fill out your
No, I
401k.
crushed it.
Oh, really?
Oh, I worked at Tommy Bahama at one point, and I came in there and redesigned the entire
Day one.
fall line. Yeah,
Day one.
it was amazing. And that wasn't even my job. That was not my job.
You gotta get a jab. You need a good jab.
Okay, so I feel like I've already reviewed the sessions out of Toronto. Didn't I do a rather lengthy?
Well, I don't want you
commentary on
to. I don't want you to review it because I'm seeing it Tuesday.
Well, why don't we'll just wait then because it doesn't come out here for a while. So we'll wait till like next week to talk about it since it only comes out in like 4 theaters this week.
Dude,
So,
dude.
dude,
4 movies next week.
dude.
Silver Linings, The Sessions, Flight, Wreck-It Ralph. That's a murderer's row of film.
Well, I'm not going to see Sessions.
You gonna go see Silver Linings with me?
I might. I think
wanna-
I'm going to be in Bellevue anyway,
What are you doing over there?
looking at a wedding location.
A little venue?
Yeah.
Who's getting married?
People I know.
Who's marrying you?
People I know.
Ah!
I am going to see Chasing Mavericks on Tuesday, though. While you're
Seriously?
seeing the Sessions.
Is that a surfing one or a?
Yeah.
Now, why would you see that? Just to be curious.
Gerard Butler.
Oh, really?
You got a
I
new
did.
jab surfing.
I thought it was like a documentary. I didn't realize it was a legit
No,
film.
it's Butler Gerard.
I'm reviewing Wreck-It Ralph for film.com, and the rest are.
I'm looking forward to Wreck-It Ralph. I might go see Silver Linings again
I think I will.
since I'll be over there.
I'm gonna take Cinema Score, get her A plus on the board,
But
call
then
it
you have
good.
to go. We have to go back to Bellevue again for Flight.
Is Flight over in Bellevue too?
Yep. So that's a bit annoying.
And
Anyway,
that is annoying.
so I went to see Paranormal Activity 4.
Okay.
Paranormal Activity 4, solid 28% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Pretty high.
10% from the top critics.
Uh-oh, cream of the crop.
I gave it a B minus.
You know I'm cream of the crop, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to make you question a lot of things.
And
B minus, pretty high, I think. What'd you give the third one? You remember?
third one, I think I might have been around A minus.
Okay, so where does this rank in the quadrilogy for you?
This would be number 3.
But still, it's still not bad. I mean, a B minus says, you know what? If you like this kind of film, go see it.
Well, Paranormal Activity 3 is sort of the outlier of the first 4 films in that this one wraps up the... This is more of like the third in the trilogy of Paranormal 1, 2, 3. It ties up everything in number 2 and uses a little bit of the mythology that they built in number 3. And there is so much more they can do with it. They've done a very good job
Yeah.
of setting up a franchise where they're not necessarily forcing these sequels. The only thing that's forced in the movies is the found footage type aspect of it, the first person.
I mean, they're kind of forcing them. They come out every October, year after year.
But no, not story wise though. Like
You know,
story, it's like okay, I can see how they could be continuing this, and they're
but
not massive epic stories.
well, yeah. Is there a legit story even there?
Well, it's just daily life with a supernatural being.
I mean, I only saw 2 and 3, but to me, it's not like there was a narrative arc. It was just like, here's some scary stuff.
Well, so.
So
No,
what
but it's not going. It's not trying to change your life.
you're giving them credit for not forcing a story, but I'm saying they're not even trying.
Well, how hard would you like them to try? I'm not sure what I.
I want it to be Cloud Atlas.
Well, Cloud Atlas, I'd argue, wasn't necessarily trying. Well, they tried to fit 6 paranormal activities into one movie.
Continue, Governor.
Wouldn't you say?
Continue, Governor. Yeah, Cloud Atlas is way too big, but anyway.
I mean, if you look at Cloud Atlas, each little snippet is Paranormal Activity 1 over and over again. You know, it's, I mean, not the same story, but Cloud Atlas 1 is Cloud Atlas 2 is Cloud Atlas 3. They're all the same story. I'd say Paranormal Activity franchise is actually even trying harder than Cloud Atlas to actually tell a story.
They should market that.
Yeah. But the strange, like the last Rotten Tomatoes little snippet, their consensus thing is a little bit annoying. They put, well, it does manage to wring a few more screams out of the franchise's surprisingly durable premise. Paranormal Activity 4 provides fans of the series with dismaying diminishing returns, which is just sort of bullshit. I don't know. It works well in tying up with one. If you liked 1 and 2, you're gonna like 4. If you enjoyed 3, you're going to get more of that in 5. It's guaranteed. It's just what's going to happen.
Oh, there is a 5, you think?
Oh, there's got to be a 5.
Then
And they're also doing a Latino spin-off, but strangely enough, it's going to be in English, which I guess they're just going to try to make sure that more people go. So it's sort of going to be a rec thing. But
I
I enjoyed it.
I draft 5 right now.
Yeah, I have this in the draft, $5 million to make this bad boy.
I draft this.
So I need to make 12 and a half to break even.
You'll make that on Friday.
I think I've already made it because it opened last night
It's
at
ridiculous.
9 o'clock.
It's ridiculous. You shouldn't have been allowed to draft this.
Well, you do have to look at it this way.
I don't.
Like Taken 2 has now made 225.9 worldwide.
Tooken.
It's made you 113.4 million.
Tooken.
Paranormal Activity 4 can only make me so much money, right? I don't know how big does this franchise go?
There's only so much money in the world. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's only so many people that are going to go see it.
Well, I think 200 is the outlier on the PAs, right? 200 million is a lot.
let's see here. Series production worldwide 205.7.
That's a
So I
lot.
can only make about 180 on it.
Oh, buddy.
But no, think about how much money we made on Madagascar 3 and Ice Age 3. It's a solid amount of money, but it's nowhere near what some of these big budget ones make.
But if you made 200 million a film, you would easily win this thing, wouldn't you?
Oh, certainly. But there's
Uh,
only so many of those that are having that effect.
yeah, there's only so many films you could draft at 5 million that can make 200. And
Yeah.
that pretty much ends with
Or even
Paranormal.
make.
That list ends right there.
Yeah, you can't even find enough movies to make that do that. So,
Exactly. So I'm
which is
getting.
interesting. It's like, why can't, and you and I aren't coming up with this, so it's not like we're placing blame. Why isn't it possible to find more situations like this? Or is it just a case of people spending way too much money on these movies?
What do you mean? Why aren't there more cases of movies with low budget, high returns?
Yeah.
I don't. That blows my mind. That's all I would try and make if I were the studios.
Why not cut the costs on these movies? Like, here, let me pull up
I think it's a. I,
draft.
I think it's a little bit of an ego thing. Like I think it's more prestigious to work on, Avatar or whatever.
Cloud Atlas made for 100 million, which I think is a reasonable fee.
That's a good deal for Cloud Atlas. It's not going to make any money,
No,
but
it should have been. I guess they're only releasing it in about 2,000 theaters next weekend.
there's like a slow burn kind of thing.
Ah, that's the problem. I don't think they're going to find reason enough to add it into too many more.
Dude, people love that film.
That's too bad. If they're expecting, if they have any kind of expectation on it,
Wow.
it's
Wow.
it's interesting in that it's cerebral without being all that intelligent.
Cerebro.
When you say, I mean, it's not like there's a lot there to think about.
But won't that help it? Like, isn't too much to think about what hurts films?
No, because I think the people who can't really think will actually get it. Because I don't think there's going to be any question for them to. I don't know. I just don't think it's. I just don't think it's going to do all that well. Why does it cost 150 million to make Wreck-It Ralph?
That is, I guess, because they have a team of animators for a year, right? Like, that's the real reason that we've asked people, and they've said it's like 100 people for a year, and that's their salary.
And by the way, I can look it up. There were some budgetary figures on The Hobbit, which I get. Let me see if I can find this. Kim Masters did a big write-up on the film. Oh, it's 3 pages. It might not be on the first one. I can't remember the numbers specifically. But it is interesting how this movie's being looked at a lot differently. Okay, here we go.
Boom.
Warner Bros. Can feel remotely comfortable putting up the better part of $1 billion to make and market not 2 but 3 Hobbit films. A knowledgeable source says the first 2 installments cost $315 million each.
Good lord, dude.
And that's with Jackson deferring his fee.
That is a very hefty budget.
A studio source insists that number is wildly inflated, and with significant production rebates from New Zealand, the cost is closer to $200 million a movie. The budget on the third film is still is a wild card, but one reason a third movie was even discussed was because Jackson had shot more footage than 2 films could contain.
That's still really expensive, isn't it?
Jackson shot more footage than 2 films could contain. How many movies are cut like at 4 hours long? The Dark Knight Rises, I think, there's movies that have been said to be like 6-hour cuts that end up getting cut down to 2 hours. Just because you shot the footage doesn't mean it all needs to be in the movie. Peter Jackson. PJ.
If the budget's 300 million, you're sad.
Well, that won't be the one that's released. Like you just said here, the studio source goes to say he's closer to $200 million a movie.
Boy.
These are the budgets that you and I are working with, though.
Yeah.
They're lies, and they're the comfortable lies. Like I don't know.
It's not a lie if everyone believes it.
Neither one of us drafted Lincoln, but Disney sent me yesterday the production budget on Lincoln is said to be 65 million.
That's a bargain.
Which sounds to me though like a safe estimation.
Or like a lie.
How much of a lie?
I bet it's 85.
See, okay, so there you go. So you're saying $20 million lie.
Yes.
And how often would you say they ever? Do you think they ever lie upwards?
You mean to say it cost more than it did?
Yeah,
I don't think so. Not very often.
I don't think so either because I think one or two things will always not be accounted for. Most often, marketing, prints and advertising, overall, just all of that. So, but Hobbit here, we're talking about potential what $115 million difference.
But is the number just always like 30% or something? Is
That's
that
potential as well.
that's even more though? 100 million. The other thing, if they would release marketing budgets on these, they're going to spend a grip of money on The Hobbit.
Speaking of marketing,
Yeah.
let's talk Alex Cross,
Okay.
aka Cadillac's Alex Cross.
Did you notice a couple Cadillac promos in there?
Just a few. Now, I do want to get to one point. I ended up giving the film an F, and we walked out of the theater, and I looked at you and I said, "What do you give that?" And you said F, and I was
F,
like,
F,
"Really?" And it was,
F.
you know what? The only reason I was debating what to give it was based on our podcast conversation, where someone did the over under one and a
Yeah.
half Fs or something like that for the rest of the year. And in the movie, I was sitting there thinking, okay, what is this movie's grade?
F.
Because I was like, I can't. I guess I could argue a D minus.
That's great.
I swear to God, I was thinking about that while
It's
watching
like,
it.
hey, they used cameras, didn't they?
Because it is, and it's a different kind of bad than a
Taken.
lot of the other bads that we have.
Yeah. I'm actually going to write a review, I think, for Film Drunk, and my headline's going to be Alex Cross makes Taken 2 look like Taken.
It is.
It's ridiculous.
I've already gone into it a lot in my review. Why don't I guess you can sort of work out your review verbally at this moment. Then
It's a
go ahead
nightmare.
and start.
It's a nightmare. It's ridiculous. I don't know the source material, so I didn't do a good research here, clearly. I originally thought this might be a superhero film. Like, I had no idea. And then I realized, okay, it's just a straight up detective movie.
Hmm.
But they don't sell any of the points. And, like, their transition scenes might as well be labeled, this is a transition scene. And, like, the music is, like, chosen by a ninth grader. Like, it's very, and we actually have ninth grade listeners who would probably do a better job than that. So it's just like, okay, piano music means this scene's important. And here's a scene where Alex Cross loves his wife. Here's a scene with a bad guy. And there's just so little creative art to it. Sad.
Everything was exposition.
Yes.
They could not.
The very
If we're walking, we're talking.
the very opening scene, the first scene,
Oh my
the guy
God.
goes, "You two are a bunch of like people who argue a lot," or something like that, and you're just like,
That's the gist of it.
like, why can't you just let them argue, and then we see that, and then we make our own?
Yes.
Like, why is that? They
Like
just,
you can have him look at him cross-eyed if you want, but you don't have to say it.
which they did every scene. There's a scene in there. I don't know if you mentioned it in your review where he's like, "Do you like nature?" And Alex Ross is like, "Sure." And he's like, "Well, let's go outside then." And they go outside, and they don't talk about anything. The scene just ends.
That was. I mean, I didn't mention that scene specifically because I wanted to mention the scene where they get in the back of the car. They're in that car dealership, and he's like, "You like cars so much, why don't we get in the back of one?" It's like, what are you going to do to me in the back of the car? Is this Titanic?
It's
And then you find out it's so he can open the door and show the reflection of the Cadillac sign in the window.
I mean, what is going on?
It was. It is just downright terrible, and like Taken Two seemed to be. It was comedically terrible. This is just bad. This is just straight up bad movie making
Yes.
that there's no excuse for. And I don't. The one thing I noticed is number one, Matthew Fox as the villain talks way too much. He should not be talking nearly as much as he does. And I don't know why every scene involving him and Tyler Perry's Alex Cross has to involve Perry analyzing him and Matthew Fox replying. It's like, "Hello, Alex Cross. What are you doing? I'm going to find you and kill you." Oh, Alex, don't you want to psychoanalyze me? Then he analyzes him. Then, like, the next time they call and have a chat, he goes, you and your psychobabble. It's you that caused this to happen. Hey, Dick, you're the one that asked for it. You asked him to psychoanalyze you. Did you not? What, was this your reason? And you can say, oh, he's crazy. I know he's crazy. He's killing people. And he's having fun doing it. And that opening, that scene where he kills the girl, that is where the movie should have started. We didn't need all that garbage with them, with that BS chase in the sewers. We didn't need Tyler Perry going to that jail, because what kind of BS side story was that? We didn't need Matthew Fox's character going to that boxing thing, because it doesn't matter. It was such a ridiculous ruse for him to get with that girl anyway. Just start with him killing the girl and not talking.
The the one thing is, I would say it's probably not any of the actors' fault, right? I think they
It
did.
You have to play some kind of now. I know people need a job. People need jabs. There's not a lot of jabs going around.
You,
People
de-
need a jab.
you definitely need a jab.
However, you have chosen this jab.
Yep.
And here's the other thing that makes me worry. I've never seen one of these Tyler Perry movies, the Medea junk or whatever the Tyler Perry's Tyler Perry. And so, but watching this movie leads me to believe those movies must be terrible because he wrote them, and he's willing to act in this movie, which tells me he cannot find a good script.
I
And
just need a jab. I mean,
this is a movie that needed somebody to come in. Like Paul Haggis was always called in to punch up the Bond films for dialogue. Somebody need to come in and strip this movie of dialogue.
was there a good movie there?
I think there is a good movie there, but things have to be moved around. He has
Yeah.
to, and like all the stuff when they show up at that first crime scene, Ed Burns
Oh
like,
man.
how many guys must have done this? It must have been a bunch. And then
this,
Tyler Perry, this was one guy.
this is one guy.
What are you talking about?
You're
This is like
crazy.
five guys, not one guy. Could have done. This is one guy. And then they go upstairs. Oh my God, these guys did all this.
Is
This is
it
one
good?
guy. It's like, dude, we get it. You are a genius. And then Ed Burns, man, just one time I'd like for you to be wrong because it's getting really annoying. Oh, I wonder if that's going to come back to bite us in the ass. And they get to that point where it does bite you in the ass, and it's a scene that should have happened so much earlier in the movie because it's the motivating factor of the movie.
The main problem is though is they beat you over the head with it, right? Like, can we agree on that?
You have a very pretty wife. Oh my God. Would you hear that in a movie?
Yeah.
How about the monologue where Tyler Perry, like in the police station, just like, this is a guy that gets off on killing. He's not going to stop. We can't stop him. We got to get him. Oh my God.
I actually thought the guy from Scrubs was amazing.
Everybody laughs when he comes on the screen.
That's why he's so amazing. It's like, it's so silly. He's like, this guy's running for mayor, so he's not going to do it by the book. He's going to do it his way, the mayor way. You're like, what is going on?
And how great is a
Why
movie
is this happening?
when you're so happy it's over, and then they go, oh, it's not over. Like, they actually say that in the movie.
It's just begun.
Yeah.
I don't know who wrote this, but
I did call this out in my
They-
review. Let me find
they-
this part.
they should probably stop with the rating.
Did you watch any of the trailers?
No.
Okay, so at the end of the trailers, it says, from screenwriters, blah, 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 directed by Rob Cohen.
Rob Cohen is.
The screenwriters are Kerry Williamson and Mark Moss.
Okay. I don't
It
know.
says now here. I'll just read what I wrote here. Curiously, the trailers boast the film as being from screenwriters Kerry Williamson and Mark Moss, the latter of which is the only one to have ever written a screenplay before, and that was 2001's Along Came a Spider, another film centered on James Patterson's fictional Alex Cross character that effectively ended Morgan Freeman's turn as a character after two films. Now, had I written this script, I would have taken my name off of it completely. Then again, perhaps that was the goal of the marketing, as if someone is saying, "Don't blame us. These are the people responsible for this drivel." And to be fair, Williamson and Moss are only part of the problem. Rob Cohen should be revoked of his director license.
What's the good film Rob Cohen's directed? Triple X, right?
Triple X isn't bad.
Yeah.
The Fast and the Furious isn't bad.
And is it because they're cheesy, but you're happy with the cheese?
Yes.
Whereas this is just supposed to be serious and just can't do it. Can't do it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a tonal thing.
And now I've started writing an article. I read her. I was on my RSS feed. A interview with Rob Cohen popped up at comingsoon.net.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking to myself, how the hell can you interview this guy? Like, what do you ask him about the movie? And clearly they were avoiding the quality of the film in the interview.
I would be like, so, stealth, huh?
Oh, stealth. Nightmare. But there was one line in it that really, really got me. He says, where is it? He is asked, so when projects come your way now, what is it that gets you excited?
Money.
His reply, on top of a couple of other things, I do tend to look for certain things. I'm much more inclined to do a movie that has sequel potential.
Wow.
That's a terrible thing to say, right?
Yeah, that's not good.
The strange thing about it is he's directed The Fast and the Furious, Triple X, Stealth, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
That Mummy was really bad. Oof. Really bad.
Fast and Furious ended up having a sequel. He didn't direct it. Triple X, they're looking at a sequel. Stealth, actually Triple X did have a sequel, excuse me. The one with Ice Cube.
Yeah.
That he didn't direct.
Yes.
Because I found another interview with him from 2005 where he goes, I never direct sequels to my films, ever. I didn't direct the sequel to Fast and the Furious. I didn't shoot the sequel to Dragonheart. I just don't believe in it. And I just think that life is short and there are many stories to tell.
That's weird.
So 7 years later, he's now just looking for movies that have sequel potential.
Yeah, he's gotten over that not sequel thing.
Which is basically him just... If you're looking for a movie that's has sequel potential, haven't you sort of just phoned it in?
I mean, you're definitely not concentrating on the movie at hand.
Yeah, because you think, okay, I got a whole franchise of stories to tell.
Yep.
And so you don't have to focus on anything.
Nope.
Any chances for... Because they've already announced a sequel.
No, they haven't.
That they're working on. Double Crossed.
How could that be?
The title is Double Cross.
That can't be. I refuse to believe that's true.
I made up a fake poster for the film. I came up with my own tagline. Cross Alex Cross once, shame on you. Cross Alex Cross twice, you get crossed out.
That's pretty good.
Right?
That's very good.
Thank you. I find myself quite impressive.
You've crossed the wrong man.
Buy or sell, the sequel to Alex Cross gets made.
Sell.
You don't think, because you seemed a little optimistic for the movie in
I
your box
did.
office oracle.
Yeah, I think the movie will do okay financially.
Well, if it does okay financially, why wouldn't they make a sequel?
No, I think opening weekend. That was the caveat there. I think it'll drop like a stone after that.
I wonder what the budget on that thing was. I know it's in my...
I mean, it couldn't have been that high, right?
I have this movie. It's $40 million is what we had early.
You drafted this?
Yeah.
That's a terrible pick by you.
Do you think it was a terrible pick, though?
Yeah, yes.
$35 million is apparently the budget on this one. Do you think it's a bad pick now, or do you think it was a bad pick then?
Anything over $8, budget-wise, would have been too much.
But, I mean, you say that now after seeing it. But a Tyler Perry action film, we don't get a lot of action movies aimed at the black audience.
That's true.
And that was my big thinking here.
It's not a bad thought.
The worst thinking, though, is to not look at the director.
That
was a major mistake. Because in the theater, we were sitting there, who directed this? Who directed this? All of a sudden, Rob Cohen. Oh.
Ouch.
It was like a shot to the chest.
You knew you were in trouble.
I am happy that I just lost $5 million on that budget, though.
You knew you were in trouble.
So, whew. Big save.
To the dome.
So I think we're done with reviews then. You didn't see Holy Motors, and I already talked a little bit about that after Cannes, and I don't think anybody wants us to really go too far in depth on that one.
Did you not like Holy Motors, or did you?
Holy Motors is a tough one to say if I liked it or not.
Because people are loving it, right?
Which is a bit ridiculous. To love it is a very weird thing. It's so eccentric is one word. It's experimental. It's weird. It's something no one's ever gonna see. It's easy to say you're gonna like it, you love it because nobody's ever gonna see it to challenge you, and those who are willing to see it will only have to. They'll just have to resort to agree. It's it's a weird. It's just a weird movie. It's interesting and fun to discuss, but eh,
Not a huge fan.
well, it's just
Like I think Slate ran an article saying it was the best movie of the year.
it's just so ridiculous.
Just get upset.
It's impossible to say that.
Would you say that it makes you lose your passion for film?
No,
I think it
I
does.
think the people that write about movies help me lose the passion for film
There's another problem.
because I feel so many of them don't know. Because I got one Disco Paco who I mentioned wrote
Okay.
in and said he's going to do a review. He commented how much he liked how we talk about when we talk about older movies
Hmm.
because the only people out there doing movie stuff now, at least that are gaining attention, are talking about movies from that are mainly now or like Back to the Future. And so when we actually talk about other movies, he likes that because finally someone's talking about something that isn't just purely marketing now. That's all movies are now.
Yeah, and that gets a little tiring.
Well, for example, did you see Joaquin's comments on the Oscars?
No, actually, I did not.
Okay, well, here's what he said when asked about the whole Oscar thing. I think it's total, utter bullshit. I don't want to be part of it. I don't believe in it. It's a carrot, but it's the worst tasting carrot I've ever tasted in my whole life. I don't want this carrot. It's totally subjective, pitting people against each other. It's the stupidest thing in the whole world. It was one of the most uncomfortable periods of my life when Walk the Line was going through all the awards stuff and all that. I never want to have that experience again.
So, what was the stupidest thing in the world? Is that what he said?
It's the stupidest thing in the whole world.
I see. I think that might be a little harsh. Like, I think I can think off the top of my head a couple stupider things.
Well,
Like,
yeah, but obviously
like
he's
famine,
exaggerating. But what do
disease,
you think of that statement?
war, politics. I think Joaquin is a different sort of person, and I think that he made I'm Still Here, and thus his opinion is negated. I hate to say that, but I bet when Walk the Line was going on, it was actually kind of nice to have your work affirmed. And when critics are ripping you and no one's affirming your work, I bet that's kind of a sad situation. The Oscars don't pit people against each other, except for Meryl Streep and Viola Davis, and that was only because Streep wanted that. But it is objective. I mean, subjective. He's totally right about that. It's just people's opinion. Doesn't make it Bible. And so you don't have to take it as Bible. If you don't get a nom, if you do get a nom, you can choose to not make that important in your life. But if you allow something to be significant in your life and then complain about it, that to me seems stupid.
Yeah, it's like I want to be appreciated for being an actor, period. Which is narcissistic as well.
Yes, hardcore.
It's a completely narcissistic business. And so to complain about any of that is a little bit silly. But then there was a comment on the site on this article where Badge goes, I'm with Joaquin. I know I'm alone in the wilderness with this one, but I can't understand how anybody can have any interest or place any credence in award ceremony. They're completely meaningless to me. Now, that's
I
a
mean,
fine statement to make.
I think credence is the thing there. Like, if you actually say, okay, The King's Speech has been named the best film, and now it is, and that's it, then I think, yeah, you've given up. But I don't think anyone said that afterwards. It won Best Picture. Okay, we note that. We move on.
The other thing to mention, though, and we've talked about this lately, is without Oscars, without award ceremonies,
You get no dramas.
you're losing a lot of movies. And not
Yes.
only that, you're losing movie conversation because if there's nothing to, this is, granted, the Oscars don't mean anything in
No.
the larger sense,
No.
But without them, people are not talking about movies in the same way.
Oh, agreed. It
It's because if okay, yeah, the name the King's Speech. But like I've said in other articles, just because that won doesn't mean people forgot to talk about The Social Network.
Well, and I think people talked about the social network more than they ever would have. If that doesn't get a Best Picture nom or isn't a Best Picture candidate, no one ever mentions
Yeah,
that movie. Like that's why it was significant because
yeah,
of it, because of the loss. It was ennobled or emboldened, you know. So it's like, and now people complain righteously, like, "Oh, you really should have seen Social Network. You're an idiot." And people do that all the time. It's like Dark Knight should have gotten an Oscar nom, and we're going to complain about that for the next 10 years, which is more important than getting an actual Oscar nom.
yeah,
So it's like it matters because it's the only real ref, you know? There's not a ref for this game. It is not an objective thing. It is a subjective thing. And it basically tells you the kinds of films that are reflecting our culture for better or worse. So I mean you can complain about the system, but I don't know that it matters. Like
yeah. I think
it just is.
rooting against having the Oscars, I think, is to not completely understand what you would lose if they went away.
Yeah, the industry, the whole winter process is based upon this.
Yeah,
And a lot of your very serious, great, amazing writers, directors, actors are aiming for this. So if they have nothing, no aspirational goal, what are they doing?
yeah. It's
And didn't Joaquin win?
he won for Walk the Line. Yes, I believe.
So it's a
I
lot easier.
believe.
It's again to say I discount this and I've won it. like I
Yeah,
don't know.
it's.
Like I tell you what, if someone gives me a Pulitzer about 8 years later, I don't mind taking a poop on the Pulitzers. But for now, I'll just take one. Just
Let's
give
see.
me
Let me double check to make sure.
for my internet's ratings.
No, he did not win.
Oh, he didn't win.
No,
Who won that year?
I can find out.
I'm sorry. That was wrong. I feel bad now.
You should. Reese Witherspoon won.
Yeah, she definitely won. That's right.
I know that. I can pull it up to say who won. Philip Seymour Hoffman for Capote.
Ooh, looking back, I would say that Joaquin was robbed. How about you?
Eh,
I like Phil Hoffman quite a bit. I
he
really
was
like.
pretty good in that movie.
Oh,
I actually didn't see that movie till like a few years later.
really?
Yeah, it took me a while to see Capote.
Why did you wait so long?
Lost my passion.
Yeah, it happens, man. I walked you right into that one, didn't I?
What was it? 2006? I don't know how I ended up missing that one.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Probably Comic Con.
Oh, remember those days?
2006, I think, was the year I was sending like sending interviews back to you, and you were
Oh,
transcribing them for me.
it was mayhem.
I think that was 2006 or 2007. I can't remember.
I was crushing those transcriptions too,
Because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I remember, was like one of the transcripts you were doing.
and I crushed it. Right?
Oh, you crushed it, of course.
I was turning that stuff around like I was working in a sweatshop.
I still can't believe you did it. It's just mayhem to think about that. Let me see here.
I love the work. Just love the work. Like a pack mule.
Man, I look at this. I look back at like some articles for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Let's see. Contest. Huge TMNT giveaway! Exclamation point. This is me writing. 11 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles clips! Exclamation point.
I can feel the light fading from your eyes.
Ninja Turtles pics and poster! Exclamation point.
Yeah, this is no wonder you were burnt out.
4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles character sheets! Exclamation point.
Best movie ever.
Let's go to page 2.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, there's nothing on page 2. But here's the best part is I have the interview for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I credit myself.
Well, yeah,
And
you
you
were
did
there.
the transcription. Oh, here it is. Oh, the this is actually on the old site, the old
Why?
design,
Why hasn't it been converted over? What's going on over there?
because it was a special Comic Con section. Comic
Uh,
Con 2006.
be there.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Best movie ever. Anyway, I have some questions, or do you want to? Let's go to over unders. We've talked for a while now. Go to over-unders.
It's time now for America's most consistent podcast segment, Over Unders, where Brad equivocates and Laremy crushes it. Over Unders, where numbers take flight.
You say most consistent. I could read back to you my Twitter fight,
If you want a good comment, you mean?
which is great, good comment work. Go ahead.
Over under 3 billion worldwide
That's a lot.
for Avatar 2. It's from Cordia.
Under.
What do you think, like 2.7?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't think much of anything.
Over under point 0.5 Oscar nominations for The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Under.
No noms at all, huh?
It's just being. I mean, I've seen some people talking about it lately, and I still have my interview with the director that I should post and try to also forward that conversation. And
Gotta
so,
get
I mean,
them clicks.
it might be able to, get a little bit of buzz going and maybe get a screenplay adaptation.
How hard are you trolling the internet when you're running Perks director interviews?
Why?
You're just trying to click whore it up.
Really?
Oh, there's millions of Perks fans out there waiting for that article.
I think you're lying.
Okay, this one's directly aimed at you, Bradley.
Go.
Over under 5 years
Ooh.
until Laremy stops reviewing movies from Marlon Wallace. What do you think? Make a prediction.
Well, it's tough to say because I don't necessarily understand what you do for a job right now.
I know. No one does.
And so, but I think you tend to like writing, and you were writing reviews when nobody was reading them.
Mm.
And so the likelihood of you maybe stopping for money,
Yeah,
that's a
that could be.
possibility.
Yeah.
But as long as we keep this podcast going, you'll still be reviewing movies.
Oh, we'll be on episode like 800 by then.
Yeah.
So you're going over.
Yeah, what do you think?
5 years until Laremy stops reviewing movies. Yeah, I think I go over on that. I mean, I would like to, review for I'd like to do like one a month for Esquire for like $3,000 if they've got that offer for me.
That's a lot.
I mean, I don't know if I need to do like
It's a bold ask.
I don't even need to do like 80 a year or anything. But no, I think I'll still be reviewing some films.
Okay.
All right. Over under 7.5 Bay Explosions and Michael Bay's Pain and Gain.
No, under.
There's some exposition here from the colleague. The lowest number of Bay Explosions was in the island, 16. Total number of Bay Explosions across his 9 movies is 992.
Under.
So no explosions, Bay style.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be a couple car explosions or something like that, but nothing major.
Okay, I like the under there too. Over under B plus grade for Wreck-It Ralph from Kessler.
That's a tough over under
It really is.
because that sounds like right where it'll be.
I kind of like an A minus, so I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go.
I pushed.
Push. Look at you.
Sorry. Hey, you took one off the board.
Look at you.
You took one off the board.
Shame. Over under 8 more seasons for SNL.
Oh, I think that'll go on forever.
Probably not with Lauren, right?
No, they'll just get some. It'll just change and evolve. They might have to do. Actually, I don't even think they'll have to change much. The weird, like you do wonder. How, I put something instead of on the show itself. Say Weekend Update.
Mm-hmm.
How long does Weekend Update continue? Seth Meyers can't do that forever.
They'll just get somebody else. They've always done that.
Yeah, but who? Anybody on the? When I say who, I'm asking. Do you think anybody on the show currently?
Probably not.
Yeah, so there's got to be some kind of replacement.
I'll go over as well. I like to be hopeful about SNL. It's definitely not good right now, but they tend
But
to
it's
have.
not been good before.
Yeah, they tend to have those phases. It's no biggie.
I'd say it's more not good than good.
Yeah, it's hard to do sketch comedy, which is why you need to watch Key and Peele.
Now, is that good?
It is.
I saw a preview for that after the show yesterday, after Daily Show with Obama on.
It's funny. Yeah.
I might have to check that out.
I tweeted a couple skits that were funny.
Hmm.
So, over under 75 million opening for Skyfall. Casino Royale opened at 40. Quantum at 67. That's from Driver. Under 75.
I just yawned.
People are loving it though.
People might be loving it, but I think,
There's only so many Bond fans.
yeah, and I think Quantum probably burned a few bridges because I know you and I were one of the few that actually enjoyed it.
True. The penultimate over under 15 years until a horror movie wins Best Picture again. Silence of the Lambs 91 from Driver.
How many years?
Fitting.
Over.
Yeah, I go over on that as well. Lambs was an outlier. Final
Yeah.
one. Over under 20 years until Tarantino directs another adaptation. Jackie Brown was an adaptation of an Elmore Leonard book.
How many years? Over.
20.
He won't do it.
Yeah, I don't think he will again.
No,
I
he's
think
got enough little ideas in his head.
he doesn't need to, right?
No.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's like, look at me, I'm QT.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, the boo.
I do have a question before I want to go into buy or sells.
Bye.
Did you see the article I wrote about the Avengers?
No.
Okay. Well, I was trying to review the Avengers Blu-ray,
Okay.
and I couldn't come up with anything to say. You know, I when I write these Blu-ray reviews, I don't like just doing the whole, oh, it's got a pretty picture and the audio's great and these special features, because that's sort of boring. So I tried to find something else to talk about. With Avengers, I couldn't.
I've heard the transfer is not great.
It transfers fine.
Okay.
And so my whole point was like, the movie is still entertaining, but it's just purely spectacle. Like there's nothing else there. And how many have you seen it since seeing it in the theater?
Nope.
How many times did you see it?
Twice.
Would you want to see it again?
Nah, I'm good.
And so what did you grade it?
Oh, did I review it? Let's see here. Laremy, the Avengers review. I did. I did review it, and I gave it a. Yeah, for God's sakes. Sorry, we're having internet issues.
What?
Having internet issues.
Good Lord.
Hey, I'm bringing it up right now. A B plus. That took a long time.
And would you stick to that at this point?
I'd probably like B now, I think. But that's what happens. Things level off.
Because I gave it an A minus.
You were really high, G.
I really enjoyed it though.
You lerved it.
Now, but I always recognized it for like the spectacle that it was.
Yep.
Now going back
You're upset.
at home though, that spectacle doesn't transfer over as much because it's just not as big. But it's still a fun movie. But it's still just there is nothing to like. People started comparing it to The Dark Knight. Sam Mendes recently said The Dark Knight directly inspired Skyfall for a movie that could be big and exciting and action-packed, but still manage to say a little something and be about something. The Avengers is about nothing.
Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, it's about commercialism.
It is commercialism, though.
Yes.
I wouldn't say it's about that.
Yes.
And so, and that's fine. But when I came to talk about it, like I didn't have anything to say. Now, some people had some questions. Looking back on the Avengers, would you still give it an A minus? And so the dude was coming down. I think it'd be the B minus to B range, and that's just sort of we just level off.
Yeah, that's okay.
The colleague comes in. I know movie grades aren't an exact science, and the review itself will tell much more about than a single letter or number ever could. However, with grades being a necessary evil, is rewatchability something that should be taken into consideration when going to a movie? Is it even possible to do so when grading a movie? Excuse me.
No, I don't think it should be.
You don't take that into consideration at all? See, I take it into consideration in the sense that I go, will I want to watch this movie again? And if I do, that gives it a little bit of a bump.
Because it's entertaining.
Yeah.
This is why I like Silver Linings better than Cloud Atlas, because I'm going to see Silver Linings again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess I do factor it in. I just didn't realize I was doing it.
Yeah, because I only do that because I want to avoid these scenarios down the line. You know, a grade is subjective, yes, and it's that moment in time, and sometimes it doesn't even entirely equal the review, what you've written. But I do take, and I did want to see Avengers again, and I did go see it again after I wrote my first review. And so I think the A minus is still applicable, but it's one of those situations where that's why grades are a little bit different. Like the F I gave for Alex Cross isn't the same F I gave to Aftershock.
Isn't this a case, though, where, again, the real world gets in the way? So you see a film called The Avengers, right?
I
And
saw
you
Avengers.
and you loved it.
I did.
And then some time passes and you kind of realize the trick or the method. And so you reanalyze what you think of it now, but I don't think it changes that original opinion. Like that still was your first, and that's if you show it to someone without any context, their first vibe on that film. So I think
Certainly.
that, so what we're just talking about is movement in our understanding of film, which I think is a good thing and not a negative thing. Like I don't know why sticking to your A minus for life would be a positive.
Well, no, certainly not. But I think we're also, and this is the most amazing thing about that article was that everyone agreed with me almost. There were a
Yeah.
couple people that came in and were like, I don't know what you're talking about, baby bear, Avengers is great. But that was the vast minority. It was amazing. I was amazed at how many people agreed with me on it. And it was the article got like 63 comments.
It's a lot. How's your movie club going?
That got 65 or so comments. We have the ice storm coming up on Monday.
Nice, nice,
I like. So,
nice. All right.
yeah. You want to do some buy or sells?
Sure.
This
Bye.
this Oscar season, all Best Picture nominees make triple of what their respective budgets were with both domestic and international winnings.
Oh boy. No,
Figure that out.
I'll sell that.
I will too, only because I don't even have the time to figure it out.
Hey, will you? You're like choppy. Am I choppy?
No, you're not choppy.
Okay. Well,
Am I still really choppy?
no, now you're fine. You were choppy though. It's like
Okay.
anyway. Go
You
ahead.
couldn't even understand me?
No, I could, but it was choppy.
We'll find out.
Okay.
Buy or sell, a Tony Scott biopic gets made.
Like ever?
Ever.
Okay, I'll buy it. It could be 100 years from now though. Chad can't track this.
Chad might have some
Ways to do this.
knowledge that you don't know about.
I'll buy it. I mean, it could be a long time though.
Buy or sell, studios releasing video blogs like the ones for The Hobbit and Skyfall will become standard practice for big budget blockbusters by the end of this decade.
It feels like a buy.
Here's a buy or sell. Buy or sell, and I just made this one up. Brad will finally not have to post character posters and video blogs on the website to attract page views.
Buy.
Let's hope so. Buy or sell, Avatar's all-time grossing record will be broken by a movie that does not have the name Avatar in its title.
Buy.
Buy or sell, last one.
I'm gonna have to the end of time, so it's like those open-ended ones are easy.
I agree. 1,000,000 years.
It's-
Buy or sell, The Master wins 0 Oscars.
I will buy that.
Me too.
The roses off the bloom of the master at this point.
Buy or sell, The Master gets nominated for Best Picture.
That I will buy. I know you think it's close, but I feel like PTA pedigree gets it through.
Okay.
Much like Warhorse got through.
4 quick watch this, watch that's.
This.
Comic-based movies that are not about superheroes.
I'm interested.
300 or Sin City.
Easily 300.
Constantine
You
or
love
From
it.
Hell.
You choose that one because you're an expert on both these films.
From Hell, I didn't think I've only seen it once, and I hardly remember it, but I do really like Constantine, so I'll go there.
There you go.
A History of Violence or Road to Perdition.
I love Road to Perdition.
Have you seen A History of Violence?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
It's an interesting one that I think is better the more times you see it, because I got the Blu-ray and liked it a lot more than I did when I saw it in the theater. I just hate the William Hurt portion of that movie, and everybody loves it.
I think it's a good film. I just think Road to Perdition's a great film.
Final one, The Crow or V for Vendetta.
Oh, V for Vendetta.
I agree.
Home run.
Crow's good, but
Yeah.
V for Vendetta I think is really good. I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming James Teague will never make a movie that good ever again.
Agree.
I think it was 100% accident.
Yep.
Good tweets.
It's time now for America's second most beloved podcast segment. Good tweets. Good tweets where Laremy reads 3, in this case 2 tweets, and Brad picks the
2
winner.
again?
Yeah. Good tweets brought to
Point
you
shaven.
by no one.
Point shaven.
It's easier to come up with 2. I've realized that.
Ugh.
Working on some new good tweet number one. Wow. Wow. I might come up with a third one about how negative you are.
That was great.
Number
Did you
one.
see somebody offered a good tweet in the comment section?
What was it? I remember reading it, but I forgot it now.
If you want to go ahead, I'll try to find it.
Well, you're just not paying attention to the tweets now.
Okay, then here. I can hopefully do a search fast enough.
Just do a control F.
There's like I know, but I got to get to the article. Don't
Get
get
off your ass.
good tweets. Okay. Me or something like me says, so if Joseph Gordon-Levitt, JGL, and Jennifer Jason Leigh, JJL, become a couple, hypothetically, of course, is there a celebrity couple name nicknamed JJGL? No, JGJL or JJGL? Good tweets.
If that's 140 characters, it's a great good tweet. It's a higher level good tweet.
Let me see how many it is.
Even though I kind of like, I think I brought that up.
I think I did it.
I was like JGL and then JJ. Yeah, whatever. You ready?
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly. That's my 18 over.
There you go. You have to fix it. Working. Here's the first one. You ready?
Huh?
Good tweet number one.
What?
Good tweet number one.
Okay.
Working on some new catchphrases. So far, I've got I could eat for when I'm hungry, and I'm beat for when I'm tired. Good tweets.
If what? I could eat when I'm hungry.
That one's amazing. Working on some new catchphrases. So far, I've got I could eat for when I'm hungry, and I'm beat for when I'm tired. Good tweets. Good tweet number two.
Okay.
I had all my political views worked out until I saw this one bumper sticker. Totally turned things around. Good tweets.
Say that one again. I'm sorry. I'm asking for double on everything here today.
I had all my political views worked out until I saw this one bumper sticker. Totally turned things around. Good tweets.
I like the first one best still.
Oh, these catchphrases rule. Like, ask me if I'm hungry.
Are you hungry?
I could eat.
Yeah, I like that.
See, that's really good. It's a catchphrase.
So, I have some breaking news.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. This is breaking news. I don't even think there's going to be a headline out there for this yet.
Go.
First negative review on Skyfall has come in to Rotten Tomatoes.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's only at 97% now. This comes from your boy, Adam Lee Davies, at Little White Lies, a site you and I visit frequently and have heard of several times. No sarcasm intended.
I love their early work.
This is their little review snippet. The new outlet, Fresh Cast and Leaner Chassis, suggests that the franchise can really kick on from here, but it's hard not to feel...
Leaner chassis?
Leaner Chassis.
Come on.
But it's hard not to feel that Skyfall itself is something of a missed opportunity. Better luck next time, James.
Have a better chassis.
Okay. How many comments does said review have?
28.
106.
Oh, people talking about the chassis.
Jamie Muniz, first one.
Trolling.
LOL, first critic give the movie a negative review. Prepare yourself.
Trolling.
Ramsey Kibbe, I don't like you.
Trolling.
Shane LaBelle, he gave Avengers the same rating as the Phantom Menace 3D. He clearly must be tripping.
Troll.
Tripping.
Troll.
Shady Tedros. Oh, LOL, I can hear the angry mob with pitchforks coming your way.
This guy. Chassis? I just can't get over chassis.
Camran Mustafa, this guy gave Rotten,
AKA Brad's boy,
to Hugo, up in the air, 3 out of 5 to the Avengers, and the Looper. He sucks!
Wow. That seems strong, but...
Chris Brett, looking at his past reviews, this guy doesn't seem to like movies. Why is he a film critic?
That's what Marlon Wallace wants to know about me.
Yep.
Hurts.
How is this negative review, please? I don't care that you didn't like the movie, but I gotta say 4 out of 5, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5 doesn't constitute a bad review.
Ooh.
Sorry, but putting a rotten review when it's not rotten is a lame way to get views.
Ooh. I just want to say, Marlon Wallace, I do actually enjoy Marlon Wallace's work. He's commented a lot on the podcast, and in no way was our discussion of my enthusiasm a reflection upon Marlon or Marlon Wallace's comments. So...
Marlon disagrees.
That's
Breaking
fine.
news. Marlon hates Laremy.
No, it's okay if he does or doesn't. Either way, I like him. So there.
Thomas Lee looks at Adam Lee Davies' review and says, "Screw you!"
I'm so angry. Someone's wrong on the internet.
Noel Santos, how can anyone with a blog be a legit critic?
Yeah, fair point. Brad, why don't you answer that one?
Tommy D. Nikolov says, "Go hide somewhere." Ah,
Go hide.
Himanshu Pant gives the end-all, be-all of comments.
Need a chassis.
This review is shit.
Whoa.
This movie is so good.
Even though I haven't seen it.
God. Oh, the internet, it just never stops giving.
You could probably make a lot of money reviewing reviews at this point.
You got to review reviews and just, you can probably go on to, what's it called, Rotten Tomatoes, grab the best comments and write a blog do blog articles about that, and people would read your site forever.
People love being outraged.
Yep. I am so mad at this guy who's mad at this movie. But you're crazy. No, I'm not.
You be tripping.
I'm just mad. Do anything that I want to get rid of out of here? Which movie did it better? This is for you, since I didn't see it mentioned about Men in Black 3. Josh Brolin as young Tommy Lee Jones, or
You didn't
Joseph
see
Gordon-Levitt as young Bruce Willis.
JGL. You didn't see Men in Black 3?
You saw it on a plane.
Hey,
Where am I going to see it?
on a plane.
No.
It was very fun. I mean, it's not good. It is kind of good. But no, I actually thought JGL's impression of Bruce Willis was quite good. And I know some people have been rather derisive about it, but I quite enjoyed it. So there. But I didn't think Brolin did much as Tommy Lee Jones, to sum that up.
Wow.
Yep.
That
Put a
is-
little bow on that
that
for you.
stings. Stings.
I think I've met Josh Brolin, haven't I? I don't know.
I interviewed him for No Country for Old Men.
Some Country for Old Men?
Does a documentary have to be entertaining? Can it just be educational, informative, or a teaching tool? If it is only that, does that make it a lesser?
I would prefer it be entertaining if I get my choice. But it can just be a teaching tool, I suppose.
I think a lot of documentaries attempt to be teaching tools
Right?
and forget that a documentary is supposed to document something.
What's weird is this was your college nickname, Teaching Tool. The big teaching tool. At power forward. What position did you play? Small forward?
Power.
Really? You're so short.
Wow.
Teaching tool.
Do I have anything else that I wanted to discuss, Laremy? Did you see David Fincher's trying to put together that 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
That used to be my favorite at Disney World. No kidding.
I've never been to Disney World.
You want to go?
I've only been to Land.
You want to go?
Sure. Now?
Because Cinema Score's never been. And I never hear the end of it. Because I'm from Florida. We used to go to Disney World like every 10 minutes. We were over Disney World. I spent my grad night at Disney World. 2 a.m. hanging out. Can't drink. You're only 17. But no, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, before they shut it down, that ride was bomb diggity. Because there was no chance for you to ride a sub other than that. That was it. That was the one place you could ride a sub in America without being in the U.S. Navy. So I enjoyed it. But the movie...
I never saw the movie.
Oh, you never seen the original?
No, the Kirk Douglas one. No, I've never seen it.
I don't feel like this one will get done. How say you?
Well, apparently Disney's put like a 3-month hold on it of some sort, like to check out the viability of making it or something like that. But
Who are they
Fincher
checking
wants-
with?
I don't know. I don't get it. Pitt is apparently who Fincher wants to play the lead. So, there. That's all I got.
Fincher Pitt's a good combo in your head.
7, Fight Club, Curious Case, BB,
See?
Ben Button.
Have you gone back to Button?
Yeah,
You need to revisit that, Bradley.
I really like it still. I was actually nervous because when I got the Blu-ray, I was like, oh, I really love this movie. I don't want to watch it again because I loved it so much. But I was nervous because I was like one of the only ones. Then I watched it, still loved it. I'm great. So there.
Yeah.
A lot of things solved.
Benjamin.
Oh, God, I had one other thing. Oh, apparently that Justice League movie is looking at 2015.
I'll be here. 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. Agree with you on Benjamin Button.
Not anymore, I bet.
Top critics 74%. Audience 81. You're with the majority, homeboy.
Not anymore. I bet you more people in... That's a movie people are be more inclined to say, well, what did you think of it? Before
Jabs.
giving their opinion.
Gotta get them jabs.
Yeah, so. I don't have anything else. I'm done. You?
Yeah, I could probably go get some breakfast or something.
Okay.
Come on, touch me, Bradley. Can't you see that Brad is not afraid? Do you know that song?
Nope.
What was that promise that Brad made? Do 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 do. What was that promise that Brad said? I wanna love Brad till the heavens stop to rain. You don't know the song yet?
Nope.
Yes, you do. The sky. Wait, that's from the sky for you and I. All right, it's the Doors. They're relatively popular.
I was just looking at the playlist articles that had been posted while we were doing this, and they managed to post 7 articles while we were doing the podcast.
Well, we were jacking around looking for jabs. The playlist is crushing it. Hey, 2 weeks till my Chicago show, Brad. Do you have any advice for me?
Nope.
Because I am going to be drunk.
That's going to be Happy Laremy then.
It's gonna be happy.
Happy Laremy.
All right, good times. Don't see Alex Cross. Do see Paranormal 4, according to Brad. Leave us iTunes reviews, over-unders, buy-sells, this or that, comments. Sorry we didn't find the redhead. I will find her.
No, you won't.
One day, I will see her in a movie again and realize who it is.
I don't think so.
I do think so. I'm more positive. I have to believe.
Don't think so.
You're very negative. You should quit the business.
Done.
All right.
That's it.
See you on Tuesday.
I might not even post this.
I think you should.
Okay.
This was a good one.
Okay.
Do me a favor when you get a moment.
Hello?
YOLO?
Who's there?
Hey, Rickard.